I've always enjoyed lighting for the arts in particular. I've also done corporate lighting as well as general decor lighting, but lighting for the arts has always been more of my passion than working for a check.
As I've been taking more photos of people, like paid jobs, I'll just say that, I'm more immersed in it, so I look at the world a little differently. I see pictures everywhere. I feel like I'm always taking pictures in my mind.
I don't know if anybody can truly master everything that is involved in pipework and building. I consider myself to be a very skilled woodworker, building the cases, building the consoles.
I came to IUPUI and had to audition to get into the music department. I started playing drums again and I haven't stopped since.
So I grew up taking art lessons, and as a painter, I feel like a lot of those skills translate into photography because there's composition, contrast, use of color.
If I get a set list, I can sit down with the production manager and go through each song. What's the tempo of the song? What's the mood of the song? And I go from there and I design looks and different effects to further whatever the meaning of the song is, whatever the mood of the piece is.
When we're designing and building the cases and the consoles, we usually go into the church and we're very specific about trying to make the organ and the console fit into the church itself, to match the woodwork of the church, to match the carvings of the church.
Sometimes I'll just shut myself in my room before going to sleep, and 3 hours later there'll be an almost completely finished song minus a few tweakings. And then other times you'll get an idea and you'll start on it and it can take weeks.
There's no question, there's no cutting corners, there's no anything along those lines. It's just, is this the best we can do? And if it is, then we leave it. And if it's not the best, then we go back and we redo it.
You're really looking at setting the mood of the content, which is where that same artisticness applies. You're looking at the content of what you're shooting, and you're trying to design lights to further that content, as opposed to, I just want the information.
As far as what photos I keep and what photos I don't, I'll browse through all of them front to back, and then I'll go through and delete what I consider to be like the terrible shots. And then I'll go through again and pick out my favorites and key ones to the story if that's what we're doing, and then just edit it away.
We think it's ready to be played, or like really enjoy it, and I think it's good and it sounds good to me. Play it to someone else, and if they don't like it instantly, then it's not worthwhile playing, it's not ready to go, and then you've got to make the decision then whether to try and change it or abandon it.
I definitely prefer lighting for the arts as opposed to lighting for corporate, because there's more passion involved. There's more collaboration.
A pipe organ is such a large, complicated thing. It requires a whole team of people to put it together. So it's not just you. It doesn't rely on just one person.
A lot of my inspiration actually comes from flicking through like sample libraries and things and hearing a sound that might trigger something in my mind that makes me think this would sound cool with this.
The drawing I will get from the designer is the measurements, the sizes, the basic panel layouts, but all of the wood choices are left up to me. I will literally dig through a whole pile of wood to find the very specific boards that I think will look the best together.
What's the mood of the song, or what's the mood of the piece in dance, or the mood of the scene? And then when you're designing lights for those types of things, you have to really think about, the human psyche.
I like creating a sense of space with my photography. So sometimes it'll be in a series where I'll step back to get, a sense of space, a sense of the environment that you're in. maybe then I'll get a picture of like a tree and the sky so you can see what the weather was like that day. And then zoom in and get the family up close.
Finding my inspiration, I quite enjoy listening to other things to get my ideas going, to find a creative flow.
When you take people in one type of culture and expose them to a different culture halfway around the world, you're doing that, you would light that very differently. It'll be either a lot brighter, different color schemes, etc., that you wouldn't typically see in American culture. And that's one way that I get to impact people here.
What I love most about photography is the people. Being able to document a certain time in people's lives so that they can keep that forever.
I enjoy the fact that the things that I'm making right now will still be here 100 years from now. I enjoy the longevity. I know I won't be around to see them, but I enjoy knowing that those things that I've made are going to be around for a long, long time.